What up, though? What's the what show? We got my girl Cece back in the building with us today,
CC.
and we got my boy Lee. We got my boy Lee in the building. He back with us today.
Back in full effect.
He gonna tell us about some of his escapades he been having with the what's that healthcare system over the last few
Yes,
weeks.
sir.
But as usual, I'm gonna start it off with our black businesses. I got some interesting ones today, y'all. Hold on for a minute. I got some real interesting ones today. Just trying to get them on here. For whatever reason, I can't find the screen. There we go. I got it now. All right, can y'all see that?
Hillman College, okay.
Hillman College Bookstore. It's for all us Generation Xers. The Hillman College Bookstore. So these cats right here, they sell T-shirts and different stuff like that. I'm gonna scroll down so you see the Hillman College sweatshirt. They got the shirt. Then they got this Randy Watson. They got this Randy Watson tour shirt. They got the Eddie King Jr. shirt.
Oh my.
A Suge Avery shirt. So man, this I thought this was cool when I looked at it. I was like, man, it's pretty cool right here. So we got the Shirley Chisholm in '72 running for president. Marion Barry. Just a lot of different stuff on here. So this is something y'all can go to hillmanbookstore.com.
Right.
Look at that stuff right there. Go through it. They got the Gordon Gartrell. Let me look at the Gordon Gartrell before we get off here. They got the Gordon Gartrell symbol shirt. Look at the Gordon Gartrell, y'all. That's hilarious. I don't see it on
my end.
You don't see it on your end? Oh yeah, that's right. You can't see on your end. That's right. We ain't gonna be able to see it today at all. But for whatever reason, Lee can't see it on his end. So now I don't know, man. I don't know, man. We're gonna have to get your technology up, man. We're gonna get you a laptop so you can be on with everybody else.
I got it.
Even though today you wouldn't have been able to be on anyway, we know that. So then we got the next store. It's the Human Bookstore. Again, everything that we promote here is black businesses, so it's black owned. Instead of going and getting your black books from Amazon, you can come here, get them here. The thing is, I know a lot of people, they always say, a lot of people don't do business with black people because it's kind of inconvenient sometimes. But sometimes we got to take that inconvenience and go ahead and do it. This the book. I just got this book, but I didn't get it from here. I got this book for Christmas before I knew about this bookstore. So a few books on here I already got. It's a Sada book. I got that Power book too. But yeah, you go here, get some of your books that you might want to look at. This Power broke. This book right here, the dude from Fubu. I have to get that book. I might have to look at that one. So yeah, this is something
that might be a good one.
Yeah, that definitely might be a good one. So this is something we all need to support right here. And then I got something for the health nuts out here. I can't even say her name. I want to say it's Massy Arias. But the website is www.massyiarias.com. What she does is basically health training. She gives you tips. She got different challenges on here. Right now she's being followed by 2 million people worldwide. But Dominican Republican sister. She is definitely doing things on the health tip for people. So this is something we can look at. I know a lot of people don't go to trainers. They go online and do a lot of stuff. So she got online training. As you can see, I'm clicking on it right now. Computer running a little slow today. But she got the online custom training, so you can go there and basically buy an online training from her. $2.99. I'm quite sure most people spend more than that on training. Then she got some of her clients on here. This lady right here supposedly lost 14 pounds. And then she got some more pictures of some other people on here. So those are our 3 businesses for today. Lee, man, you got the floor, man. I'm gonna let you have the floor. I can't put you up on the screen because your picture, every time I put you up, it just show a blank screen. So
You don't even see my picture?
Well, I see it in the bottom, but when I click on it, it's just, ain't it a blank screen on your side, CC?
It is.
Yeah, so we'll just keep it on. We'll keep it on the young lady. We'll keep it on the pretty face of the young lady.
Why not?
And then we'll let Lee tell us about what's been going on, man. You ain't got to tell everything, but just tell us about your issue, a little bit about the issue that you got going on right now.
All right, man. Well, I guess the perfect way to open this up is you never know about your insurance until it comes down to using it, and that's across the board. In this particular case, we're talking about health insurance, medical. So I got hit with an unforeseen issue where they got to do a major procedure, and I'm going to be out of work for about 45 days, and I've never had, I'm in my 40s club. I've had a very fortunate life not to have any major head trauma, no lacerations, no broken bones. I've never had a cavity, just nothing, no major anything. So this particular deal is going to be major. So, but the procedures and the steps and all of the formalities that you have to go through was a little bit unsavory, just to say the least. You know what I'm saying? Especially in regards to all the different adjustments we've had to make ever since the Affordable Health Care Act came into play. And for some people, it worked out good. For others, not so bad. And then others, they're just pissed off about it. So in my particular case, I'm not so happy because my company was with two major companies, and then it switched to another one, all right?
Okay.
So, and when that happened, my PPO and all my coverage and all that was adjusted. It was the same, but it was different. And most of the differences came into like your co-pays, your deductible, what's covered, what's not covered, the network and all that. And that's very important for people to know about before they go in, because you're going to be raped with co-pays, dude, going back and forth for things that really could have been taken care of in the first visit, and most of it is clerical stuff. You're paying $40 and $50 for you to fill out the same paperwork and everything right there, right? My deductible was $2,000, so I ended up having to get a colonoscopy, all right? So that was $800. Now you're paying, if you have a company that covers your medical, all right, you're paying X amount of dollars per month. Some people from $200 to $800 a month, all right, and somewhere in between. I don't know what you pay, but mine went up, and I'm never ill. I go for my vision, I go for my dental and all that, but I don't have any major medical issues up until recently. So the $2,000 deductible is pretty high, because most procedures for a guy with my health are never going to exceed that. So I'm going to be 100% responsible for the coverage, but I'm paying monthly in excess of maybe $3,600 a year. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, where is that money? Where is that money going? I mean, I paid $3,600 on this whole year, but my deductible is not met, so I still have to come out the pocket 100% to cover anything that doesn't meet that deductible.
Wow.
Now, if it clears the deductible, let's just say it's a $2,500 procedure in the network, of course.
Okay.
They cover 70%, and then I have to cover the other 30%. Okay? And then I have another part of my insurance where if it's like a major deal, big accident, big surgery, big procedure, it's like $5,600 or $5,900, something to that effect. Let's just say $6,000. If it exceeds that, then they pay 100%. So that's the good part for that. But dude, it just seems that when the whole Affordable Health Care Act, they fought it, and I understand why they brought it in. And I'm very, very happy for those people who've never had the opportunity to afford health care to be able to have some sort of coverage, because it's very important. But on the other end, for people like you and myself who work for major companies or just any company at all, it didn't really benefit in that fashion. So I'm not all that happy about it. My surgery's on the 15th, and then I'm going to be out for another 3, maybe 4 weeks in recovery. And it's going to be painful, mama.
Yeah. Not only painful, just the procedure, but that money pot, that money issue.
Yeah, and then remember what I was saying to you offline, that you only get 60% of your salary covered with this insurance. And once your employer knows that you're out on disability, they don't cover your deductions out of your check that will go towards your benefits. That has to come out of pocket because they're not paying you now. Your insurance provider is covering that, and they're not going to pay for it because they're covering the actual medical. It's crazy.
So and the only reason they're not paying is because you were supposedly hurt off the job, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a workman's comp case. Now, it still hasn't been determined because the paperwork in the proceedings where I send my portion of the paperwork to the doctor who's supposed to provide the service, and then he sends the information back to the company, and they review it to determine whether or not it could be workman's comp or it's going to stay as a disability from self-injury or health related deal. And it's a big deal, man. It's a real big deal, but you got to remember the liaison between the company and us are the ones that get the majority of the money because they're shopping it for these major companies. Where that's where that buffer money is coming from. Who's getting paid for that? You know, it's very interesting. Yeah. And I know I'm going to find out more as I go.
I know you will. Hey, remember we was talking about the Aflac, man, and I know the Aflac don't cover everything, but I know a lot of people when they get Aflac and they get hurt, they can at least, a lot of times, in most cases, they get 100% of their money because Aflac fill up everything else.
Yeah, Aflac proved to be the most lucrative, beneficial way to the client. We would be considered the client of the insurance, but for all those people out there, you got to do your homework. You really got to dig. You really got to do research because there's a lot going on in the medical field. It can get somewhat controversial when it comes down to the motive of why things are orchestrated the way they are. But it's going to be tight for Krima.
It's going to be tight for Christmas.
Hey, that's the word I learned coming from the West Coast over to the dirty South.
Krima.
What you gonna get your insurance for Krima? I said, what?
Krima.
For Krima.
No S's. No S at all.
No S or no T or.
Hey, look.
So yeah, that's my deal right there, man. But I'm glad I'm up here with you. I get opportunity to hear from it's CC and everything.
Yeah, man, we glad to have you back. And
man, I've been doing research.
Like I said last week, me and CC gonna try to be on here a little bit more with us. Because this is her. Give us that feminine side to the.
We need it. You're the most important thing in this planet, the woman.
And go from there. So here we go, y'all. Can y'all see this video? Can you see that?
I can't, but I remember last time I could. So I don't know. I didn't do anything different, but I just have to watch the show again to see it.
Okay, can you see it, CC?
I couldn't see anything but black screen.
But a black screen? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to play. I want to see if y'all can hear the video.
Okay.
I just see a collar with some lipstick on it.
Is it playing?
Can y'all hear that?
No, sir.
Okay, hold on. Because it should be playing across the whole thing. So you guys can't hear that at all?
We can't hear you. As soon as the sound plays, the mute button is showing on your screen.
Okay, but you can't hear them at all.
No.
No.
When tell me if you can hear it when the mute button go off.
Nope.
No.
Okay. All right, we're gonna have to try it another way. I'm sorry, y'all.
Brief us on it or something.
Say what?
You're gonna have to brief us on it.
I may have to brief y'all on it. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up a different way first,
All right.
and then we'll go from there. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to hear the sound if I pull it up this way though. So that's gonna be the problem too. But let me see what I can do real quick. First, what it's about though, David Banner is on a show on a YouTube channel called All Hip Hop TV, and he's talking about Kendrick Lamar, and he's talking about black people not really wanting to be black. And so I wanted y'all to hear what he had to say, and then kind of, just have a little talk about it, see what's going on, and see what we think about what he said. Because I can't really tell you exactly what he said because he said a lot in that little 5-minute clip, but you're gonna hear it now. So let me see. Oh, it looked like we got Jesse on the line with us today too. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, man. I can hear you, man. I'm about to play this clip of hopefully I can play it. Hopefully it'll play through. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to come up. So see if y'all can see that.
Nah, bro. What's up, Big Jess?
What's going on?
Oh, man.
Better?
I'm hanging on tight, bro. Hanging on tight. I just was giving them the breakdown.
Okay, I'm seeing a video at the bottom.
Okay, can y'all see this video?
Yes.
Is it the one you was telling me about? I saw it earlier.
Okay, can you hear it?
Because I'm black and I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all just be quiet for a second. Let this play. I'm gonna go back a little bit so we can hear the questions and stuff. It's just 5 minutes, so we'll listen to it and hopefully everybody else can hear too.
He said, "This is how I get. This is how I get." This is similar with you. I'm angry because I'm black and I'm not. This is art. This is what it is for. And I want to put a mirror in front of the face of the mirror. How black? I'm talking about black. When we do movies for ourselves, we making slave movies too. Why can't we make superhero movies? Why can't we make some black folks make the same media that white folks want to see because we're catering to them? I'm trying to say this in every outlet. The biggest problem in our community is black people. That's black. They grow up, they don't want to come back and do videos about all hip hop and all hip hop is why they blew up in the first place. Most black people think white is right. Most black people try to find a rationale and reason why it's okay that white people are killing black kids when cops don't make the same mistakes with white children. The Boston bomber can just get grazed in the arm. If he was black, he would have got shot in the face 450 times. You know, their kids rob banks and they're able to apprehend them without them even being hurt. If we scratch our ass, we get shot 40 times. You know, so for me, I think that most black
I'm sorry. I thought you was turning on, boy.
get the shine in our communities are people who agree to a certain aspect or to a certain degree they agree with white supremacy and they don't even know it. So this is just art for me, but this is how I really feel. And what's surprising to me is how most black people feel. They're scared to say it themselves. I'm just not afraid. But this is what I would say to children. Everybody always asks me, you not scared they're gonna do something? Why are you doing it to us anyway? What are you afraid of? Artists, our records are not selling anyway. We're not buying records anyway. So why not be creative? Why not be revolutionary? Why not do what you want to do anyway? Like, it was funny, we were just talking about it. You really sound anyway? Why not do it anyway? You know, your J. Cole's, your Kendrick Lamar's. I haven't been to a Big Crit concert of me personally. And like I told y'all behind camera, I'm making more money. You know? But this is just what I want to tell people. If you are being applauded by the devil, 9 times out of 10 you aren't. You can't fight against the system that historically has hated you and they applaud you. They applaud you for a reason. You have to analyze yourself.
Well, let me ask you this: what about Kendrick? Kendrick's a darling now, and he and Flag of the Berry is one of the most revolutionary songs we've seen.
Honestly, I don't want to talk about it as artists. Okay. I have my theories about it. Okay. But if I talk about it, then people will take it more as an attack on him, and it's not about him. We have to look at the systems that we run through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, one thing that I found out about very rich white people is they're not really in the race. They're in the money. They're in the green. So if they can find a way similar to gangster rap, if they can take, or Public Enemy, if they can take Public Enemy, I can make $1 billion off of, or millions, $40 billion, $10 million off of Public Enemy. You don't fuck what Chuck say. You know what I'm saying? It's emotional because I know black people are not going to do anything. I know they're not going to build their own companies. I can give Michael Jordan, I can give a basketball player $80 million. He's not going to go build a corporation that's going to help black people move forward. He may sell some shoes. You know what I'm saying? He may invest in it. Well, neither here nor there. But for us, white people know we're going to come back and give it right back to them. So, you know, think about it, bro. Like, whenever something is popular in America, if you really study it, it's coming right back to them. I even looked at a lot of the groups that used to beef with each other back in the day. A lot of them were on the same fucking label. Go back and look at some of those rap beats. Dude, it was coming from, it was either coming from the same record label or the same distribution company. It was like Profile. I think it was like Profile. Like, everybody was on Profile. So we could kill each other, but at the end of the day, when it all siphoned back down, one group of white people were making money off of it. No.
I thought that was interesting, y'all. Just that.
What up? Oh,
Some of the points he was making. What up, Jay? Got Jay in the house.
What up?
He just came back from you was working out, man.
nah, man. I need to get to the gym. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna go a little later.
Yeah, I need to too. But what he was talking about, I thought it was very interesting. So I'm gonna start off at the beginning with the question with him. The question basically, you know, was he angry? And he was saying that he's not angry. And but one of the main statements he made was that black people don't want to be black. They want to do everything that will support white supremacy or support white dominance over them. And we look like we lost Lee. He might come back in. We'll see. But so I'm gonna ask you. See, you've been into the music industry. You sung. You did the radio show, and you had a lot of different artists on your radio show. How many of your artists do you think did? I mean, because I know you had rappers, you had singers. Out of your rappers, how many of your artists you think did what they like to label gangster rap?
When they go into, it's the majority of them that would like to do gangster rap. Unfortunately, it's a market that the most popular wins. Locally, you know, about the promotion and the networking here, we don't kind of stick together with networking on the music.
And you think a lot of that got to do with because something what he said? We would prefer to work with white folks, or we prefer not to work on our own or work within our own. We want to get that big label money. So if I got to step on your neck to get that big label money, that's what I'm gonna do.
Some people conform themselves to make those money moves or major moves, going with the Caucasians or going with other markets rather than their own people, because you get into the shadiness and you get into things not operating appropriately. You get into those things, and it kind of black markets or kind of blackballs all of the other black businesses that are doing things professionally.
Gotcha.
It hurts them in the process, where we don't we think the other markets are better.
Gotcha. All right.
Instead of being linked to it, you know, that's what comes about. We lose ourselves trying to find the better markets.
Gotcha. Hey, Jay.
What up, though?
So, you know, one of our favorite sayings is the Paul Mooney, everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. So,
Right.
So, you know, with that being said, you know, because that's definitely one of my favorite sayings. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. That's including white people. Why do you think that we as black people tend to go towards everything that is negative towards us? And I'm gonna make it real political for you, because I know that you are more social political in that sense. So I'm gonna make it real political for you and say it like this: like, why do you think we as black people, before Barack Obama, why all the while Bill Clinton was in office, he was making laws that at the end of the day hurt the black community? He was doing a lot of laws and a lot of amendments to different things that was hurting black people, passing a lot of bills that hurt black people, but we still was willing to say, well, he the only black president we gonna ever have. But of course, that was before Barack Obama got in, but that was what was said. So why do you think that is?
Man, I think you go back to like what we were talking about last week when we were talking about how the African American community has some dire trust and some loyalty to a certain party, that we put all our faith behind it, and they will overlook. Because you know, that's the one thing you can always say about people of color, be it, you know, black people, Hispanics, you know, all of us people of color are loyalists. And when we figure out somebody, we think somebody got our back, you're gonna support them regardless, and they can go over there and they can do what Donald Trump said and stand in the middle of New York Street and kill somebody, but you still gonna support them, you know. But that's just how we are, and I think that's what we've had going through all these generations of feeling loyal to, you know, these certain political demagogues and all this, and we've come to, you know, regardless of what they do, we say, hey, we think they got our back. And so many of our so-called leaders have sold their soul to, you know, these people.
Is Michael Eric Dyson one of them leaders you talking about?
You know it, Michael Eric.
That's my man. I like Michael. He's still a very intellectual guy. I just feel like in many ways he just kind of gave his whole thing over to Obama, and now Clinton running it, he right on Clinton.
If you can check out Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman, I was listening to it.
I meant to watch that. You told me about that. Send me a link to that.
All right, I was listening to it again last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, because it was him and what's his name, Eddie Glade. They were debating, and it was just like, I'm like, man, dude, you done sold your soul out to the Clintons. I was like, I love you, brother, because you're from Detroit. But I'm like, my gosh.
Hey, so we got Lee back. Hey, Lee, did you happen to catch the rest of the video?
Hey, no, hold on. I'm gonna go out for a second, but I'll be right back.
No problem. Hey,
what happened, Randy, is my phone was catching so much interference, okay, that on my end it would just broke up. So I ended up turning my phone off, but I'm on my tablet right now.
Okay, no problem. So basically, man, it was a question asked to him about Pac and how Pac used his music uses music to try to put out different points of views in society, and was he basically his anger, that was the only way he could put his music out, because he was angry. And he asked David Banner, did he feel the same way? And David Banner, of course, David Banner said he's not angry, he just understands what it is. And he went on to talk about how basically that black people don't work with one another, and black people are scared to be black. And then he was saying that he went on to talk about how most of the black artists that do music, he was saying he didn't understand why they wouldn't do anything more revolutionary, because people are not buying the albums anyway. So it would be better for them to do something creative. And he was like, the funny thing is most of the creative people are making the money. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. He said he hasn't been to a Big Crit concert that hasn't been sold out. He said even himself, he's making more money now than he ever made in his career, now that he's being more conscious and doing something different. And then they went on to ask him about Kendrick Lamar. Why did he think that Kendrick Lamar was able to basically why he was able to why Kendrick Lamar was able to be the darling, and he had this revolutionary song named "The Blacker the Berry," and he basically said that he felt like white people, most rich white people don't care about race anyway. All they really care about is green. So if they can make $40 million off of them, you can say what the fuck you want to say.
Right.
And they gonna do it. So with you doing, because we working on this album that in my mind is probably one of the most revolutionary albums that are different type of albums that I'm gonna probably ever work on with you.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice, man. I can't wait to do it. And David Banner, Pac, all these different minds have failed to realize one thing. Not to say that they're failures, but you gotta understand something. Before we really, as a hip hop nation, made a breakthrough, they were trying to ban rap. Remember that. Just remember that. It was not so much of them playing on freedom of speech. It was a fear of a conscious awakening, because remember, when these rich people, mainly Europeans, Jews or non-African American black folks, come home and they see their children bumping some Tupac, it doesn't resonate with them like when we come home and they listen to the Tupac. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
If we came home, right, and I know your family, if Michael is in the living room listening to Brahms' Beethoven Symphony, we're not going to be like, man, what are you doing listening to that? Because there's nothing wrong with that kind of music. But if a white person or a person who is not conscious of the creativity of hip-hop, especially at one point, then they were like, what are you doing listening to that jungle nigger music or whatever the heck they going to say? Or what are you listening to that crap? Whatever. It resonates different. But that was our language. Remember, our real language was beat out of us. We couldn't talk. You see, so when we came up with our own quote-unquote slang and jive and hip, that was our way of talking amongst each other. They didn't know what the hell we was talking about. And these niggas sold out and gave them a dictionary about Ebonics. You dumb nigga. You done gave up the game. You see what I'm saying? We didn't have nothing for ourselves, and immediately when we get something for ourselves, they wanted to ban it. And then they said, you know what, forget that. We're going to capitalize on it. But the only way you're going to be able to be a lucrative person is if you put out filth and smut and degradation and separation in your music. And that's what's happening. That's why these garbage-ass rappers, when they saying nothing but killing, raping, smoking weed, selling dope, and glorifying all the wrong things, those are the ones that are going to get the money because they're poisoning the mind of the people who just don't get it.
You're right. You're right. You are exactly right. I mean, you said something, though, when you was talking about us having our own language. It made me think about this book Dr. Amos Wilson wrote called The Psychological Development of the Black Child. And he was talking about how
that's a great book. That's
So he was talking about how we talk about Ebonics as almost like, black parents, especially in the 90s, mid 90s. I remember when I was in high school, they would always talk about y'all need to stop talking at Ebonics. Y'all need to speak regular English. And he broke down in that book how that was our regular English. And he was breaking down in that book how if you put a white person in a black school and you made them try to learn Ebonics, they wouldn't even know what to do. He was like, but in our sense, because we have to learn their language, we know how to talk both languages. And it made me think about when you said that. That just made me think about that. I thought I would bring that up. Our lady of the house got to leave in a minute. She got to go pick up her daughter. So I'm gonna let her say one last thing. You say whatever you want to say about that video that you watched, CC.
About the video I watched with Mr. David Banner, I want to say Jesse Williams kind of summed it up on BET. If you caught the speech, which is not anything new that was being said, that we've been saying in our black community.
Yeah. That
they have taken our culture and try to make it theirs, or try to consume and make money off of our culture. You know, we have other cultures that don't even let us in, with the Asian cultures and so forth and so on. I can go on. But when you get into this realm of being activist, political, involved, we do it for the likes sometimes, and we shouldn't do it for that. We should be doing it to make sure our points are coming across. Like, you know, going to the businesses and giving the companies our money, knowing good and well they don't support our black people and our black communities. So I just want to make sure that, you know, we need to wake up. It's been a long time, and as if anything, enough stuff hasn't hit the fan. We just need to kind of wake up in our communities and know what's right and know what's wrong, and start making these right choices and decisions, and going out and vote. Make sure you vote. I want to make sure I reiterate that.
Great. Hey, Jay. Hey,
What up, though?
before I go back to you, CC, I know you got to go. So
I know.
We thank you for
Take care, Miss
being
CC.
out here. And we'll see you next time.
Of course. Y'all have
All
a
right.
ball. I love you all.
Hey, y'all. Hey, tell them how to follow you on Instagram and where all your little stuff, if they want to hit you up, whatever.
Okay, if you want to hit me up, it's CC5 Foot. That's CECEE 5FT. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have a talk show, Lipstick Affairs, that's going to be back on soon. So don't miss me. And if you want to hit me up for any questions, I'll answer back.
All right, CC. We'll see you next time.
Y'all have a great night.
All right.
You too.
Peace.
Thank you.
Hey, y'all. So.
I gotta get me an Instagram.
Man, that's the crazy. I got that stupid Instagram, and I was like, I don't even feel this jug, dog.
I know, man. You know, like I've been on Facebook member for maybe a little bit over a year. I was never a social media guy. I kind of regret not doing it sooner, because it's a real good tool to connect with people, and you know, if you use it the right way, if you don't get it caught up into all that drama and stuff, you know, it's awesome, you know. So I never had a Twitter. I never had a Twitter account. I never had a MySpace account, but I do have a Facebook, and I guess I'm gonna have to get an Instagram. We got this Hangouts going on. This is pretty cool. Hey, I'm on my tablet. Randy, it sound a little better, right?
Yeah, it sounds a lot better, man. That's what you need to do.
I can see Big Jesse and his beard real clear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he got that almost Rick Ross going on.
Hey,
I got to shave. I ain't really looking all dapper today. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, dude. But it's funny. I was sitting there. Just a side note. I was sitting there. One of our friends was over. They was like, "Man, you real passionate on Facebook. You be going off. You be just going off." I saw that conversation you had with that one like real dude. I was like, man, I just don't like that foolishness, man. I'm like, I said, and then between that and then, you know, still everybody needs to know hashtag I hate Fox News. So I mean, you know how that trends, how that trends worldwide.
Hey, speaking of, I don't want to say his name again because I try not to really talk. Let me take it back. I talk bad about people a lot, but I try not to do it. I try not to do it like that. But speaking of him, because we going back to what my man said. That's just a whole other case of a person that does not want to be who he is. And again, I'm like, I don't get it. Like, you can get on there and you can say that.
This ain't live. You gonna X that out, right? We'll mark this part out.
But look, Randy, look, Jesse, y'all got to understand something. A person can't be who they are if they don't know who they are.
That is true.
Or
that
they
is
get
true.
this false identification with things.
That's all it is.
That's what happens. A lot of people get these false identifications.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
But I'm like, and that's the part that always bothers me. Like when we talk about like black consciousness and like it's okay. So you get the black conscious brothers. You get this how black folks go. You get the ones who so spiritual, the church folks or spiritual folks who say, "Oh, I'm not black. I'm who God made me. I'm deeper than that." And then you go from that. You get the black conscious folks who say, "We all kings and queens from Africa. We all." I mean, like, we know that's true, but then they want to deny that we are people who came through slavery. That, you know, that's a part of who we are. I'm like, but all that makes who we are. We are people. We are descendants from kings and queens. We are people who travail, who ancestors travail. Not really ancestors, but our great grandfathers and grandmothers travailed through slavery, and we still fighting. That shows that you went from kings and queens to being enslaved and still fighting. I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with it.
And that you just made a great point of, because a lot of people like to talk that ancestor stuff when they talk about slavery, like that was so long ago. I mean, if you really just break it down, my great grandmother was actually in slavery because when my grandfather was born, they were sharecroppers.
Yep.
So I mean, that's just very interesting when we like to talk about we like to talk about how they ancestors, like this was 200-300 years ago.
No,
but slavery just ended.
ancestors.
Slavery just ended not even 150 years ago.
Yep, we going on that note. It ended 150 years ago. If we go on there, so we just take it on that and say, oh wow, that's 150 years. Then you went from 150 years slavery in 1865. Then you went from 30 years to Reconstruction, where you had sharecropping and black codes. Then you go from that to the freaking Roaring 20s, which were the nadir of black people, where more black people got lynched in America in any time in history. You go to that, to the 1940s and 50s. I'm like, we really ain't get a right to vote protected until Lyndon Johnson signed the Western Line in '64.
And it's still not protected. It's still not protected because every few years they got to vote again to see if we can vote. Yeah. But that goes into a whole other thing that we can talk about. I know Lee, I'm gonna pose this question to you because that goes to a whole other thing. Him saying about that thing to vote, us really being citizens of this country.
Yeah, we talked about that,
and us not knowing our status.
Yeah,
we truly are.
Yeah, and a lot of people, even people who are quote unquote educated, don't know that our vote doesn't count until our vote is voted on. Because when the Constitution was amended at that time, we were what? A third of a man. Remember, Jesse, we talked about that.
Yep.
3/5 of a man. 3/5 of a man.
3/5
of a man.
3/5 clause.
Okay. All right. Now, when we know that, looking back on the foundation of this country, we're still practicing on that same amendment, on those same amendments, on those same bills. So, right now, our vote has to be voted on. Every person of color vote does not count. And if you notice, they keep on talking about this I've never seen in any election where the electorate has got so much emphasis. Did y'all notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're talking a bunch about the electorate. All right, so really it is a question for those who don't know, who really makes a decision on who becomes the chief of staff.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I think that was kind of what I was telling Randy too. We was talking about that one day. Just that whole idea of this election
Oh, Jay, you went out, man.
Yeah, he
Got
did.
stuck. He got stuck. What you saying, Jay? Yeah, Jay, you in a bad spot. Jay in a bad spot right now, but I think what he was about to say is that we were talking about the electoral votes or whatever, and
Uh-huh.
we were just talking about that whole idea of now. I think this is what he was about to say is that we were talking about how we should be able to get to a point where we are, basically where we should where
It bothers
we.
me.
Oh, he trying to come in, but he's still talking. There you go. He dropped. But we were basically talking about how it shouldn't even be electoral college anymore. We got enough technology in today's time where they should be able to take everybody's vote. And whoever gets the most votes should be the person that wins. That's an outdated system of electoral college. But the reason why it'll never be outdated is because we can go back to as early as 2000 when Gore won the popular vote, but he did not win the electoral college. And because he
Right.
did not win the electoral college, he wasn't president, but he won the popular vote.
Yeah.
So we could go back to that. We could it's very easy to go back to a lot of things that was going on. Hey Jay, you went out, so I'm gonna let you go back in and say what you were saying about what were we talking about, the electoral. I think I explained it, but it might have been another conversation that we were having.
I had said I haven't heard media wise, not saying they don't, but I was saying I haven't seen so much of the media talking about the electorate, and then that's when Jesse was getting ready to come in, but he got cut off.
So what you
Oh, I'm
about to say,
sorry.
Jay?
No, I was just saying how we praise this, that we're in the greatest democracy in the world, but I'm like, in reality, this isn't a democracy. This is what is called a representative democracy, a republic. I mean, because in the democracy, every person votes, every we vote on people to go in there who we say we're gonna represent us, and they don't represent us. And I'm like, that's why sometimes I'm actually, like I said, I'm more and more as this election comes along, I'm like, I'm sustaining in the presidential election. I'm not voting. I mean, I'm not voting for president. I'm just like, it don't make a difference to me. Um,
I don't
and
think you're
then,
gonna have to, Jesse.
cause they all with that, cause then they want to sell you on this. I was waiting to see how the Democrats was gonna sell me Hillary. And all I heard, because I knew the Republicans sold me, America's going to hell. Donald Trump is the only one who can save us. All this fear. And then I looked at the Democratic convention, and they're telling me, they're selling the same message of that if you don't vote for Hillary, you got to be scared because we're going to get Trump. Y'all selling the same message. The same message of fear. I'm not voting for neither one of them jokers. And I'm
Hey,
like, and I
Jesse.
guess I'm like, I mean, it's pissed me off now. I'm like,
But Jesse, you got to remember, man.
When it's all said and done, you still gotta go back to what's the okay.
That's what people.
Is it. And then we've got the double.
Hey, you kind of muffled, man. You got whatever you just did. Undo that.
I didn't do nothing.
Okay, you
I
kind
got
of
auto-tunes going on.
yeah, you kind of muffled. You sound like T-Pain right now.
Leak auto-tunes.
There you go. You back now. You back now.
Okay. Now, what I was saying was, see,
He's like, I'm in love with.
it's like this. You got a lot of, and everyone who's done some real research knows there's a lot of inconsistencies in the Christian text. However, there is still one of the best books you could ever read. Okay, I read it 7 times in 7 different versions, from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Okay, I don't think, Jesse, this is just me, based on all of my research, I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to even vote for Hillary or Trump, because I believe we'll be in martial law by then. That's just what I believe.
That's what another dude told me. He had a prophecy about that, and I was like,
No, you talking about your boy?
yeah,
Real,
yeah, that was his
about,
prophecy.
That was his prophecy, but his prophecy is based off conspiracy theories that's been going on since Obama got in office. Dick Gregory said that like 4 years ago, exactly what Lee said, that we would be in martial law. Something major was going to happen that was going to lead us to martial law, and that Obama was going to just end up having to stay president for longer than his term,
Right.
And that was what was going to happen. That Obama was going to be the last president.
Right. Right. But according to the scripture, and then according to just the things, and not just Christian texts, this is just scripture overall. So, I had one off into a deal because, growing up, I had a lot of questions. And one of the things that I really were upset about my Christian brothers is that they just didn't say, I don't know, brother.
Yep.
I wish they would have just said to me, I don't know, brother, let's research together. Instead of selling me some crap that they themselves didn't believe. You follow what I'm saying?
It's hard to research something.
You missing
that-
one.
It's kind of hard to research something when you I'm gonna mute Jay out for a second. It's hard to research something that's gonna go against everything that you believe. And kind of like your boy. Remember you said the young guy, the young cousin that come over to the house, and when you broke some stuff down to him, and it made him really think about it, like he was real messed up. When you take a person's faith away from them, no matter even if it's just them taking it away back on to do research, a lot of times that'll destroy them. Some people are not strong enough for that. Some people, they do research and they'll run away from their own research because they realize it's taking them away from what they have grown up to believe, and they don't know what to do with that. Like a person like me, I took the research and I said, well, what can I actually do with this research? What is it going to do for me? How is it going to free me? I didn't take it as that I was gonna lose God. I took it as what am I going to gain from this for my own personal life. For me, it was great. I gained a lot. Not dealing with those different issues of basically holding on to a religion that I've questioned all my life. But again, like me and you always say, and like I always tell you, I don't dog nobody's religion because I understand the basis of what it does for you as a person to build you up.
That's right.
And so I will never dog your religion. My thing is, don't ever dog me for doing research that took me another way and took me to another path that made me feel more comfortable with who I was and made me feel like I was more comfortable with who God is to me. And some people, they don't believe in God at all, and I don't dog them either because, at the end of the day, their research has led them to believe there is no God. My research hasn't led me to believe that. My research makes me even believe even stronger that there's a God. But that's just me.
Well, you all remember it's a receptivity deal, which is pretty much locked into the law of grace. All right, like we don't have no one. I mean, who was to say Randy, Jesse, me, Cece, whoever is born? No one said, "Hey, you were going to be born." Who had the control of how you were going to be born, how smart you were going to be, what family you're going to be born in, what part of the world you're going to be born in? All of these things were preordained, and so was your receptivity based on your karmic debt. So when you talk about receiving information, let me tell you something, bro. When I finally got to the bottom of my 5 core questions in Christianity, I cried like a baby. You hear me? Cried, bawling, because I felt like not only was I free, right? Because it made sense. Now I'm like, oh, I get it. But then I also, some of those tears were for all those people who I know no matter what, they will never get it. They'll never accept it. No matter how true it may appear, it's not going down. So I had a little bit of shared tears. It was emotionally torn because I know some people are not like my grandmother, right? Bless her heart. That was the first person who I read the Bible with. I was 6 years old. You know that big old thick Bible on that dining room table. Okay, everybody got one.
It's got a picture. Some of them had a picture with Jesus in the middle of it, praying with his hands like this.
Yeah.
Some of them just got hands like this, and it's the biggest Bible you can whoop somebody with that Bible.
Right. or you had the Last Supper. It was those 3. You know what I'm saying? And what happened was when we used to get put on punishment, go stand in the corner. That was the Bible that we had to hold in one hand. And then we had to have the dictionary in the other, that big old thick dictionary. We had to stand in the corner. One hand we had the Bible, and another you had the other one. You stand there and had the whole, and they couldn't drop it. If they dropped on the ground, you got your ass whooped. But anyway, that was the first book that I read from age 6 to 8. It took that long for me at that time on my comprehension level. It took about 2 years to read the whole Bible. And then from that time to now, I read it 6 more times. The Quran twice, the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, the Sanskrit, the Adi Granth, the Japji, the Metan. It goes on and on and on. But after reading all of those documents, right, and all those scrolls and all of those books of religion, most of them were the same
book
theme. In different time, in a different metaphor, and a different, they were using different things to pretty much describe the same story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why in the hell are we fighting? Why are we divided? Why are there so many denominations in Christianity and so forth and so on? So when it finally came to me, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. The great deceiver has deceived us all with religion. It's all about a spirituality type of deal. Not about religion, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I can't get mad at an atheist because he still needs proof. Some people are born knowing there's God. Others have to be taught. Either which way, as long as you find him, you're all good. See, we just kind of going at it a little differently. And I just think whatever goes on in this world, man is going to see. If God doesn't interfere with man's will, where do you and I stand? It's all about self-control. So all we can do is apply ourselves the best way. Try not to get all caught up in the goings on of the earth. That's why the Bible says, what? Be in the world, but not of the world. It's a real true thing, bro, because these people of power are going to do what they will. We can't stop them.
No, you can't stop them.
We can go get all the guns in the world, and all they got to do is go get a drone and done deal.
Yeah, and
you can't.
And you just can't win that war.
That's not the war for us to fight.
Yeah, you can't, and you can't win that war because we don't have. First off, black people can't win, even if there was this race war everybody talks about. Some black people talk about, yeah, I'm ready. You're not ready.
No, they're not.
You're not ready. First off, you don't make guns. You don't have a gun manufacturer. Black people don't even have an army that they can go to and say, this is our army. So you're not ready for a race war. We may be able to go join some of them African countries, and maybe they have, maybe they have that. But right now we behind enemy lines. And that's just what it is. But back to the spiritual part of it, because all that really counts in that, because the spiritual part of it, if everyone would get off the religion, if everyone would get off that because it's a drug, that drug of religion, if everyone would get off that drug of racism, because I always say this, I love my black people. I love my African people. I love knowing that my people were the first people on earth, the children of the sun. I love learning I love all that I learned. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that some of these, some white people came from us. They came from albinos. We got to realize too that even their scientists say that some white people come from Neanderthals. There's no way for us to figure out who that is. No way for us to figure out who the Neanderthal part of them is and who the albinos that come from us part of them is that have just evolved over the years. But the problem with this is that if we would get rid of the religion, if we would get rid of that drug of racism, we would really, at the end of the day, realize that we pretty much all the same. But because of the fact that, for me, because of the fact that black people have been through so much in this country, it does make me say we have to start doing for ourselves until they're willing to start seeing us as equals. We have to start doing for ourselves. But even we can't even do for ourselves because we got some people worried about if you're a Christian. Then you got some people worried about if you're a Muslim. Then some of us don't believe in God. Then you got the conscious community like Jesse was talking about earlier. I love the conscious community. No problem with that. Many people would probably say that me and you would be part of the conscious community since we're not religious. But I don't love the fact that they just took what was in religion and brought it over to the conscious community. It's almost like the arguing and the beefing that's in religion, you see it in the conscious community because now you got the Hebrew Israelites fighting the RBGs. And then you got the RBGs fighting the Garveys. And then you got the Garveys fighting the Pan-African, because then you'll say you have some Pan-Africans that'll say we Pan-African nationalists. Then you have some Pan-Africans that say we just Pan-African. And then they fight each other, and nothing is being done that is creative, or nothing is being done, not creative, but nothing is being done that is actually building us up. And that's a problem. And it all stems from, like you said earlier, if they all sat down and looked at what they're trying to do, the main goal is to help black people beat white supremacy. So why are you fighting? Just like in all these religions, if they all sat down and paid attention to what they all trying to do, the main goal is to reach God. Why are you arguing with each other and fighting with each other over, well, I got to go through Jesus? I mean, if they really paid attention to what Jesus was saying, he was saying, no man come to the Father by me, because I'm a master teacher, and you need a master teacher to teach you how to get to the Father.
Right. Right.
And that's really what he was trying to say. But we have taken that Bible, we have taken the King James version of that Bible, and said that this is the, it baffles me when I see that you have people out here that are educated, and they'll look at that King James version Bible and say this is the all be all, tell the truth, and it's like it tells you that it was written by a man. Mm-hmm. That it's the version that he decided to give you.
Who was an immoral man?
Who was an immoral? Hey, we ain't even we could get all off into that, but
yeah.
But I mean, it tells you that, and so how do you take that and say that is the all be all? How do you take that and you know that books were taken away from it? How do you take that, and even today the King James version that we have today is not the same as the King James version that was originally written because you had the Apocrypha in the original King James version.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
So when you start talking about all those different things, we can go into that all night long. We could be on here forever. So it's almost time to end. I think we're just a little bit over an hour. I know you got stuff you got to do. Hey, say your last piece, Lee.
Oh man, I'm just glad that we were able to get together and speak on a couple of things. I've been doing some research. Remember, I told you when I get all my information on the banking system and the straw man account, I was going to bring that to the forum on the next time we get together.
Okay, you let me know, man, and that'll be what we talk about, because you'll be teaching us.
Yeah, it's pretty much already knowledge that we know, but then when it comes down to the value of the dollar and what's actually being done with our Social Security number and us as an actual entity, it's very interesting, bro.
Very interesting.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I've looked. I probably haven't done as much research as you, but I definitely have looked at that. What that having that Social Security number really means, and how if you ever pay attention to when you're doing anything, you can either put a Social Security number or a tax ID number there. Mm-hmm. It trips me out that you can actually use your name to put a tax ID number, because you can set your name up under a tax ID and use yourself as a business. It's very interesting how all that kind of works.
And corporation.
Yeah, and basically create a whole new, if you really want to be honest with you, you created a whole new Social Security number for yourself. But I ain't telling nobody to do that. I'm not telling nobody to do that. Don't get on here and go to the court and talk about, I saw this on the What's the What show. No, you didn't. You didn't see that out there. I'm just telling you that it's interesting. If you try, you just have to go and do your research and figure out what it is.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And basically the inquisition of it all my, I just didn't understand, like, how can I, if you're a bank, I give you my money, I give you $100, and if I never ever put any money into that, at the end of the month, it's supposed to accrue some sort of interest. Mm-hmm. But who's the one paying that interest? You follow what I'm saying? So I'm saying, you as a bank holder, Randy Banking, you're going to pay me just for me to give you my money to keep it? I don't understand that. You're going to put your own money on top of my money? And that's kind of how I started. You know what I'm saying?
Because they playing games with your money wise in there.
What you say? So yeah,
they gambling with your money. That's why it's supposedly backed by the FDIC. So that while they gamble with your money, if something happened to happen, there's you're supposed to be able to get your money back from the government.
Mhm.
Yeah, whatever. But you know, I'm not telling people to take their money out the bank. Don't say you saw that on What's the What show either, because I said that. But I'm just saying you have to really do your research about this stuff and really know the game that is being played on the backside of everything that you're doing. Hey man, hey, I appreciate you coming on and joining us today, man. I know you still got some stuff that you got to get over.
Yeah.
That we gonna send some more prayers out for you.
Appreciate it, man.
Stuff, man. And hey, I appreciate everybody who's gonna watch this in the future. Anybody that's gonna watch, this is the way that we kind of want this show to go. We just kind of speak from the cuff. We start off with a topic, and wherever that topic leads us, we go. You know, we started with David Banner, but it kind of led us a few different places. But to get back to that David Banner, I do want to say this, is that us Black people, we need to love who we are. We need to love who we are, not be scared of it. It's something wrong when anything that you want to do and you want to call it Black. Like if you know, I remember in Detroit, they were trying to make what they were going to call African Town, and nobody wanted to do it because it was racist. We the only people on earth that worry about multiculturalism. No one else worries about it. The Koreans don't worry about it. The Italians don't worry about it. They do their own things. The Mexicans don't worry about it. Lee, you can attest to this. Right here in Georgia, you can drive down Buford Highway, and you see about 2 or 3 malls that's all Mexican.
Yeah.
All Mexican.
And ain't nothing wrong with it.
And ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I love it because I'm looking at my people and I'm like, you see, it can be done. That's all.
Can definitely be done. So I'm that was my whole point of really wanting to watch that David Banner video, because I want Black people to get to a point where they love themselves and love and know that because you love yourself does not mean that you hate white people. It just means you love who your culture is. I hate when people say I don't see color, because you are taking away from my culture when you say you don't see who I am. You're basically saying that my culture don't mean nothing. If I tell somebody if I tell somebody that they're Italian, I tell somebody, well, I don't see you as Italian, I just see you as a person. I take away from their Italian history. I take away from what makes them them. And you cannot do that to a person. So, you know, we are the human race, but within that human race, there's different heritage, there's different cultures, and we need to respect all those cultures. But we as Black people need to love us and love what we are doing. Stop hating on one another, keep on working together, and stop fighting against each other on basis of religion, basis on light skin, team dark skin, all that bullshit. We need to get to the real and love one another, because if we don't, when that martial law go down, we'll see how many of them really feel like we part of the human race.
Right.
So, hey,
that boy good.
hey man, I'm signing off. The What's the What show. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. Holla.